Good evening, everyone. This is Melissa Thomas for Florida National News coming to you with your evening news rundown for your Tuesday, May 12th, 2020. Thank you so much for tuning in and so much for your patience. Been quite a day today. It's actually quite an interesting news day as well. So thank you for tuning in. And of course, we want to open it up with the audience question. I'm sure you've been hearing all the chatter today about Dr. Fauci's testimony. So we want to actually lead off with that question. Given what you've heard so far from his testimony, what are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on what he shared about the sort of caution with regards to possible second waves or second outbreaks, and what he mentioned about the vaccines? We're going to get into it a little bit more in just a moment, but leave your comments below on that. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, guys, we want to jump into the latest COVID-19 numbers for you. We always like to bring you guys the statistics. So according to the World Health Organization, we are looking at over 4 million confirmed cases, globally speaking. And in terms of deaths, we are looking at over 283,000 confirmed deaths. Now, jumping over to the United States, we are looking at domestically over 1.7 million confirmed cases here and well over 80,000 confirmed deaths. And as you can see from the graph here provided by the CDC, the hotspots are in the northeastern part of the country, New England, the New England area, down here in Florida, of course, the state of California, and bits of the heartland, the state of California. Wanted to clear that up. And of course, jumping over to our state, the state of Florida, here are our most recent numbers here. According to the Florida Department of Health, we're looking at close to 42,000 confirmed cases, and we're approaching 1,800 confirmed deaths here in the state of Florida. So now jumping over to world stories, you heard us talk about last week or a couple weeks ago about Mexico and sort of the glut of cases that are happening over there and what's happening with their hospitals. So in a recent update, their hospitals are now nearing capacity. It's becoming an issue now. So just to give you some numbers, just to provide some perspective as to what's going on over there, we're looking at Mexico having more than 35,000 cases and over 3,400 deaths. And so far, that's still tentative numbers because they have limited testing. So the numbers may actually be much higher than that in terms of cases and deaths. But right now, that's where they are. At least 26 of the 64 public hospitals in Mexico City, they're treating COVID-19 patients and they're full. Some of the private hospitals, there are 5 private hospitals and they're beginning to get full as well. They're beginning to reach their capacity. And the New York Times is reporting that the Mexican government, of course, is not accurately reporting those deaths due to the lack of testing. So again, those numbers could be much higher. Now, jumping over to some US news, as we promised, we wanted to get you to some of the updates with Dr. Fauci. So wanted to play this brief clip for you during his testimony today. Of course, he testified before the Senate Health Committee virtually. So here's a brief clip of what he had to share.
My word has been, and I've been very consistent in this, that I get concerned if you have a situation where the dynamics of an outbreak in an area are such that you are not seeing that gradual over 14-day decrease that would allow you to go to phase 1. And then if you pass the checkpoints of phase 1, go to phase 2 and phase 3. What I've expressed then and again is my concern that if some areas, cities, states, or what have you, jump over those various checkpoints and prematurely open up without having the capability of being able to respond effectively and efficiently, my concern is that we will start to see little spikes that might turn into outbreaks. So therefore, I have been being very clear in my message to try to the best extent possible to go by the guidelines, which have been very well thought out and very well delineated.
Now, of course, he mentioned the importance of identification, isolation, and contact tracing with regards to states handling and being capable of handling the possibility of a second wave or an outbreak in their individual areas, because it's important for folks to continue to observe the guidelines and social distancing. And while states are reopening, while the country's reopening, folks might get a little happy and a little bit careless. So ladies and gentlemen, from us to you, we continue to reiterate, continue to practice your social distancing, continue to wash those hands and sanitize them, and continue to be careful. We are not out of this just yet. And to that point, Dr. Fauci also during his testimony spoke about the progress of creating vaccines. There are currently over 100 companies competing to create a vaccine. And what he also talked about was diagnostics. Currently, the NIH has an initiative in which they're actually doing a Shark Tank style program where medical companies can actually create diagnostics equipment, things to increase the speed of testing, increase the speed of catching COVID-19 cases, to get more accurate numbers out there and to increase the response. So stay tuned right here at FloridaNationalNews.com as we continue to bring you guys the latest updates where that is concerned. Thank you as always for tuning in. Now, actually, before we jump over to Florida, one more bit of national news for you guys that you've likely heard by now, but the state of New York is finally beginning to reopen. Governor Cuomo actually made his announcement here recently. He'll be, releasing different minor parts of the state that is allowed to open, that have met the 7 requirements that have been needed. So far, 3 of the upstate regions, the Finger Lakes, the Southern Tier, and Mohawk Valley, they're ready to begin a phase 1 reopen when the state's stay-at-home order expires on Friday. He's also allowing the state to, many local governments within the state to decide when to reopen more than that. He's basically monitoring the decline in hospitalizations and infections. He saw a favorable drop. So low risk businesses such as landscaping, drive-in theaters, and outdoor recreation like tennis, those things are beginning to reopen when the stay-at-home order expires. And of course, he made kind of the joke saying, talk about Back to the Future, drive-in theaters are about to be a thing again, when previously they were the thing before indoor theaters became super popular with their various experiences. So you'll likely see more of those open up across the country because indoor theaters are beginning to take a hit given the stay-at-home order and streaming. But we'll continue to keep you guys posted where that's concerned. Now, jumping down to our lovely state of Florida and even hyper-locally, down to the city of Orlando, you guys heard us report previously that Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer was going to discuss with the city council the different measures to help smaller restaurants expand out to private parking lots and sidewalks to allow for outdoor seating for their restaurants, since the indoor capacity is limited to 25%. Well, the city actually went ahead and approved that measure. And they also, remember the discussion, they were going to talk about free parking to encourage Orlando residents to take advantage of the restaurants in the Orlando city core. And they decided to go ahead and approve the free parking. So congratulations, if you're living in the Orlando area, or if you're perusing through there, there is free parking available while you're eating there. The seating has been approved by the Orlando City Council. So they passed the measure on Monday, and it will last until September 1st, as we shared with you guys before. As far as the parking, the free parking will be limited to 2 hours at the parking meters and 3 hours in the city parking garages. So if you're in the area, be sure to eat up, enjoy the free parking, because when September 1st comes, you'll have to pay up again. Anyway, guys, that does it for Florida. And right now we're going to cut to a quick commercial break. So stay tuned. I'll bring you your business, your sports, and your entertainment 4 for 4 right after the break. So stay tuned.
At Duke Energy, we deliver electricity and so much more, like free home energy assessments, rebates for energy-saving improvements, payment options to help you better manage your budget, and even bill credits for helping the community use less energy. So no matter what you're doing, we can help you make better energy choices every day. It's just another way we bring power to your life. How much can you save?
Welcome back, guys. Thank you again for tuning in to the Evening News Rundown. So jumping over to our business news, and this is a nice transition from our Florida news into the business news. But I did want to announce to you guys that for those of you who are in the attractions area, who may be traveling to Florida soon, Universal Orlando City Walk is actually opening some of their restaurants as of Thursday this week, excuse me. So the hours will be slightly limited from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. And some of the restaurants include Red Oven Pizza Bakery, Bubba Gum Shrimp Co., Restaurant and Market, and Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, along with Voodoo Donut and Auntie Anne's. Of course, they'll have a limited menu and limited seating because they want to observe the social distancing and obey the 25% indoor capacity. But I did want to share that with you guys, for those of you who are itching to get back out to iDrive, get back out to the attractions area, if for no other reason than just sheer nostalgia until until everything opens up in full. Now, jumping over to a different bit of business news. So far, you've probably heard the news reports about Elon Musk expressing his frustrations about the quarantine. And hey, he's continuing to show just how strongly he feels about that. But his Tesla company, he decided to open the plant, defying the county order. He's in the factories in Alameda County, and he decided to reopen the facility anyway. He's been criticizing it for the last week, and very colorfully, I might add. But on Monday, he tweeted that he'll be at the factory, quotes, on the line with everyone else. And he also tweeted, if anyone is arrested, I ask that it only be me. He is willing to put his name on the line for what he stands for. If nothing else, got to give the man respect for that. But he was, he's also threatened to move the manufacturing plant out of California into Texas. You've likely heard that report as well. So, the plot thickens where that is concerned, and we'll continue to keep you guys posted on that. Now, in a bit of sports news here, you guys likely heard from Casey about the MLB looking to get things cracking in June. So, of course, as a result, in preparation for that, the MLB plant is reopened. Absolutely. So the Louisville Sluggers will begin to head out here pretty soon. And basically, what they're working on so far to catch up is to ship out the orders that were placed before the quarantine, before the factory closed. And of course, the plant is the Hillerick and Bradsby plant. They manufacture all the Louisville Sluggers. But as you guys can see, the demand is there again. Some of the baseball players are happy, as you heard Casey reporting yesterday during the FNN Sports Take. And of course, the bats have got to go out to get these guys ready because they've been practicing at home, which is very much different than practicing in their normal facilities. So stay tuned as we continue to keep you guys updated on the sports end. Now, just before we jump over into your entertainment 4 for 4 with our lovely Jamecia, I'm going to take one more commercial break. So you guys stay tuned. Thank you so much for tuning in.
We wanted to move back home to be closer to his family. We decided to go with pods because things were stressful enough.
We weren't sure how long we were going to need storage for, so we needed something that was flexible, and then they can deliver the container to wherever we move to.
We haven't found the perfect house yet, but we're still looking.
All right, guys, welcome back. Thanks for tuning back in. And as promised, the Entertainment 4 for 4 is coming up with the one and only, our lovely reporter out of California, Miss Jamecia Stoudemire. Hey, Jamecia.
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Awesome. We look forward to hearing your news. Take it away.
Thank you, Melissa. Hey, guys. This is Jamecia Stoudemire here, all the way from Los Angeles, California. We hope that you are doing well, and this is your Entertainment 4 for 4. Number one, the entertainment industry was hit hard this past weekend with several deaths, ranging from Andre Harrell, Little Richard, and now we've been told with two more, Betty Wright, who is an award-winning Grammy soul singer, who actually this picture was captured by Florida National News at the Jazz in the Gardens 3 years ago. Betty Wright passed away from cancer at the age of 66 and at her residence in Miami, Florida. She is best known for some of her songs as Clean Up Woman, No Pain, No Gain, and also was a great mentor to the young industry, as many had tweeted her out after her passing and death, such as John Legend and many more. We also lost the father of Ben Stiller, Jerry Stiller, who is very well known in this industry as well. He passed away from natural causes at the age of 92. Jerry played on TV shows such as Seinfeld, King of Queens, and movies such as Taking Pelham 1, 2, 3, and several many more. It is definitely sad to lose so many people in such a small time, but definitely our condolences at Florida National News goes out to all those families and all those that were touched by them. May their legacies continue to live on. And number 2, we have Twitter. Twitter is donating some big money, or shall I say Jack Dorsey is donating some big money. The CEO of Twitter recently donated $10 million to Jay-Z, Meek Mills, and Michael Rubin's Philanthropy Reform Alliance. This movement and what he is doing is all a part of Jack Dorsey's small initiative, Start Small. So he has actually pledged to donate $1 billion. And so far, we've heard of Jay-Z and Meek Mill's organization getting 10 million. We've also heard of Sean Penn's organization getting 10 million, and even Eminem's organization with the city of Detroit. They're giving masks as well as PPE, but all this money is going to the relief efforts of COVID-19. So he just wants to put his money, and it's actually from the profit, and let me quote this right, it's from his Square Equity. So that's where that money is coming from, but he's giving back to everyone. Number 3, we're going to be talking about Broadway is shut down till Labor Day. Labor Day, guys. That's September. And unfortunately, with that taking place, also pushbacks our Tony Awards. Until we ever have plays again, there won't be a Tony Award, which is extremely, extremely sad. And then also in the news, Sarah Jessica and her husband, Matthew Broderick, their Broadway play was set to come out in the summer of 2020, but that'll be pushed back until we know and everything actually is officially open, but it's set for 2021. But in other news of Broadway, a cool part with how entertainment has figured out to make things great is Hamilton is coming to Disney Plus. Now, everyone is such a fan of Hamilton. This great play has won over 11 Tony Awards, and they are coming to Disney Plus July 3rd. Now, they were originally coming to Disney Plus. What was happening was they were actually going to movie theaters, and that was going to be releasing in October. But now, due to the pandemic, they have made adjustments, and they're going to be releasing via Disney Plus. So, all of you guys, if you don't have Disney Plus, maybe wait to use that little special they have for July, so you can tune in for the new Hamilton, because I haven't seen it live, and I want to see it, so I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. And our last one is number 4. We have Michelle Obama's Becoming. It released this past weekend on Netflix, and boy, oh my, the internet is going crazy. I mean, Michelle Obama, we love the Obamas. Who doesn't? But this documentary gives us definitely the first chance to look into the First Lady's life after, being a First Lady, and, finding and becoming who she is after that. A few notes, it's definitely a rare and up close look they've been stating, and it goes from her childhood all the way, it's all about her book tour, which Becoming is based off of her book, but it also just touches just like in the book, her childhood all the way to adulthood and becoming the lady that she is today. And Michelle Obama is just an amazing woman that I think every woman in person honestly looks up to. So this is Jamecia Stoudemire. You can follow me at the THE_ENT_mogul. And this is your Entertainment 444. Thank you for watching. And Melissa, back to you.
Thank you so much, Jamecia. Always a pleasure to have you on. Make sure you take care. And we will see Jamecia again on Thursday, guys.
Sure will.
As always, thank you so much for tuning in. That does it here for us at Evening News Rundown. So if you haven't already, be sure to check us out and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can find us at Florida National News, at FNN News TV, or at FNN News Live on Facebook. And on YouTube, you can subscribe and click the little bell at Florida National News over there. But you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It is always a pleasure to share the top stories with you each day. I'll be back here tomorrow afternoon. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.